CC-centric comps that we saw coming out, or if you want to look even more into those pick comps. And a lot of these teams do kind of fight over these bans that we've seen a lot of. And coming out so far, we have quite a few of those with the Gilgamesh, Athena, and Soul already being taken away.
And following up that Soul, we're going to see the Emir banned away by Santa Barbara as well. University of Alabama, as you mentioned, getting rid of the other two. And these are some of the more common picks of bans. Emir being more hit and miss, as we've seen going on through in some of these college teams. They've found other ways to play throughout outside of AVGL as well. So we get to see this mix up, and essentially, Emir, tell me your thoughts on this ban, because, like I said before, he's not really been consistent for these guys.
Well, Ymir is one of those picks that when it's on, it's absolutely on. And the setup is there, being able to blink freeze, as well as those walls if you want to trap them in. And because of the changes to the map that we've seen, more of these rocks being placed throughout and just tighter corridors, it makes Ymir one of those gods that can really limit your disengage and even your engage if you're using on the backside to get your team out. And then you do have that secure in the ultimate. I mean, we've seen Ymir snag a couple objectives for themselves.
Well, we do see University of Alabama, they're going to go ahead and ban away the Zhang Kui for their final ban of phase 1. And this is a little interesting because we've seen him get a little bit more play here recently with some of the changes to certain items. And Fafnir will be the last one for Santa Barbara as well. But this Zhang Kui ban, like, tell me, what is the thought process behind this one this early?
Well, Zong hasn't seen maybe as much success as we might have hoped for in the SPL, but there's just that thought that it is a team fight monster able to pop that ultimate and just kind of run it down. There's so much AoE damage that comes through, but this does allow them to pick up the Tiamat, and we've seen what Tiamat can do, so that's a scary pick. Morgan as well coming through, one of those mages that's been contested a lot.
Yeah, and Morgan Le Fay only recently becoming available for these types of competitive games. She's been, people have been enjoying playing her here and there, becomes available in rank, comes available in competitive. So now we're actually getting to see her in motion, but she is one of the more immobile mages.
She is, and that's really where she suffers a bit, which makes me like this pick of the Sobek, right? It can displace this god, and once you're displaced, you don't have that dash for safety, that jump over a wall to get you out of this damage that can come through. The Cerberus also punishes these immobile mages really well just because you have that ghastly breath, the damage that comes through, and then you don't have a great way if you don't have beads to get out of this ultimate. You're just kind of stuck and letting the Cerberus do whatever they like with you. King Arthur going to be locked in, though, to finish out the Santa Barbara draft. We haven't seen them as much as we used to, but still has some decent play.
As you mentioned, that King Arthur is going to be their final pick, but they did get the Yamoja in. So talk to me about how this pairs with this Morgan Le Fay. We haven't seen the Hunter yet.
Right, Umoja is just going to provide that extra bit of sustain, and Morgan has some in their kit through the passive. A lot of times you're also going to be building into that lifesteal build because you want to be able to box. Not having that escape means that a lot of times you get forced into that all or nothing situation where you have to win these 1v1s, and Umoja will help you out with that, just having that extra healing. It allows you this objective play as well. If you want to sit around the objectives, kind of poke out, you do have that healing to fall back on.
Well, coming out, our second ban phase has been completed. UC Santa Barbara, they're going to get rid of the Kali and Tsukiyomi. University of Alabama, they want to get Set and Kamazots out of here. And the fact Set was not banned early, I think, says a lot about these recent gods and the way things have gone, because he was before one of the most commonly banned.
Right. And I think it also speaks a little bit to just having a chance to get more used to Set. Set's one of those gods, kind of like the Kali that we've seen played around with a bit, that if you're not able to coordinate the peel really well, just absolutely ravishes the back line. But if you can get the peeling down pretty well, you can handle it a bit better and limit what that god is able to do.
You do see Santa Barbara, they're going to go ahead and instantly get this ROM onto their side. So their dual lanes complete. Yamoja, ROM, they want to try and get what they can early on. And we do see University of Alabama, they're hovering this Nemesis, uncertain what to go with outside of that Ivy. Tell me, what do you want to see round this out?
Well, I think Nemesis is a pretty good hover for them just because you can punish the King Arthur better. It also is going to punish the Morgan pretty well, not having that escapability we've talked about. The Jing Wei, however, is a bit of an interesting pick, so I'm surprised to see that come through with the rise of the bow build. Not that crit has come out of meta by any means, it definitely still has its power, and Jing Wei is one of the best users of crit if that's the way they want to look.
Wei is going to be the hunter lock-in for them, as you mentioned, and then Osiris currently being hovered by Santa Barbara. A nice little interesting pick, but I would expect us to be going into the jungle at this point if it's locked in.
Right. It makes more sense than King Arthur, right? We haven't seen a whole lot of that in jungle for a good reason. And Osiris allows them to have early pressure. You can really get started on this god, and it's one of those that can punish other gods really well. If you can get a nice Lord of the Afterlife onto the Tiamat, it's going to help you out. You have decent boxing into that because the protections you get through the passive and through their 3 on that tether. So we'll see how it works out for them, but I like it if they go that way. We've also got to talk about this ROM, right? We've seen a lot more ROM recently due to this bow build where we didn't see him for a while at all.
No, and that may very well have to do with his stim. Does get that bit of attack speed going. So, bow build, we've been seeing this so much recently, and I think we've all seen, the little hints taken there and there, Hunters always have that one build, not really too much that they can go back and forth with, but it's not going to be Osiris. They're actually going to swap this to Erlong Shen. Larix, he's going to go this Fighter's Mask, which we've yet again seen this rise up in the solo lane. But coming out for Galaxy Medic, it's going to be the Vamp Shroud.
Vamp Shroud's been picked up quite a bit onto these magical solo laners, and it gives them that extra 15 protections, of course, whenever the item was buffed. You also get some sustain in this lifesteal that's come through, so it's a nice item. We've seen it on Cthulhu some when that's in solo lane. Cerberus makes sense to pick that up as well, and I think that allows them to fight in a little bit better. Surprised to see this Fighter's Mask, though. We've seen so much Bluestone on King Arthur, and while I know Fighter's Mask is strong, Bluestone and King Arthur go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Well, that's definitely an interesting analogy, peanut butter and jelly, but that's if you even like that sandwich in the first place. I don't know everybody that does, but for now, you mentioned, yes, that is one of the more common things we see on him early on, that Bluestone, so I guess he's wanting to be able to fight a little harder against this Cerberus over in the solo lane. But over here on duo, both teams about to be getting into lane, and Bastion, these starts, obviously, we talked about it before, the ADCs having a similar setup. The supports, it seems like it may come down to in the end.
It could, and we see different relic choicing here. Coming out for the Emoja, they are going to be going for that shell, the blink, or the Sunder actually, for Sobek, but scrapping coming on here is Dank's going to take quite a bit of damage.
As Sunder was applied out, as you had mentioned before, the shell not needing to be used as of yet, so they're going to be able to hold on to that relic for now. As you mentioned, the dual lane falling quite low. Still playing just say enough, though, as we see Simo and Thunderfang coming together. They're going to be a little bit behind on the clears. This Tiamat has a little bit of an advantage, but not too much. Going back to dual lane, though, we see Valence took quite a bit of poke, looks like getting aggressive, trying to take down Persephone, but not quite yet able to. He's going to have to play safe, however, as he's still not fully healed. He's going to have to be able to play through that the rest of this next about minute.
Yeah, got to keep an eye on that, certainly, but it looks like they're going to try to get aggressive again. Having this Sobek for Mashi, Mashi's just really trying to find a nice displacement and follow up off the back end. Should be able to do that for Valence. Now, this lane pressure we've talked about has been a bit of a toss-up so far. It really depends on who's able to get this better minion clear, and for one way, it's gone Santa Barbara a little bit. The University of Alabama is holding in there.
And both teams, they want to hold on. One thing that's interesting to note is that Roughneck, he has yet to really need to pop any of his potions. He's got 2 mana and 3 health still sitting in his inventory there. This will be used at any given time. So we may see him get a little more aggressive here early on, especially if it's in this 1v1.
Could be. Now, something I find interesting that we've got to talk about builds a little bit has been this kind of mix-up between this either going mannequins or going Eye of the Jungle. We see the mannequins coming out for the Erlang, which is going to give them, of course, that extra bit of damage. You have that tick damage coming out of the mannequins. I have the jungle, however, for the Nemesis, and now Nemesis is a god that can kind of flex that ability auto-attack build, and likely what we're going to see come through. I like the pickup of the Eye of Jungle, I think, just a little bit more, knowing that you are the later game god versus the Erlang.
Oh, and if I saw that right, looks like Simo may have stolen away one of those neutral harpies from over the wall. does it. Level 5 clearing this wave, but the aggression coming in from Ninja and Roughneck. The tower dive, it's not good enough though, and in comes Thunderfan. He wants to and does find the first blood onto Ninja. They're chasing down this Tiamat. Simo can't step out too far, understanding this is going to let his Erlang do everything. But here comes the solo laner. Lyrics is here, and the pickup, the throw down, takes the second kill of this one. 2-0 Santa Barbara.
Really nice rotation there from Lyrics, and that's the ability of having a King Arthur over there in the solo lane. Getting pressure on Cerberus allows him the freedom to rotate over, and that's just unfortunate for University of Alabama. You don't have the level 5 on Roughneck to get the additional damage out of the Tiamat kit. They can't secure the kill, and they get punished on the backside, as we see in the replay here. Thunderfant comes in, gets the knockup, gets the ultimate, and the damage comes through.
Just beautiful team play and communication coming through for UC Santa Barbara. And even the early solo rotation, taking advantage of any pressure, he's able to apply this early. I mean, absolutely beautiful communication coming from these guys so far. And we're only 4 minutes in, by the way, so these guys showing early on they want to find every advantage they can. And this so far, they've found themselves a 1,400 gold lead as well.
1,400 is a nice little cushion to have this early on, and it's come off of that mid play. You had the advantage on Morgan, but nice pluck coming out here. Dankshaw does get displaced, but has the Rama roll to keep them safe for now.
He's able to go back around the rocket to his tower play for safety. Over in solo lane, we see little 2v2 going on. The junglers and soldiers working together. Stygian Torment comes out, pulls one up, the other stays on the ground, and it's Ninja who's going to be the first one to fall. Thunderfant getting his second kill in this fight. Galaxy Medic just trying to do what he can to stay alive, is not going to be able to contest this blue buff, so that is a good invade from the way of Santa Barbara off of the back end of a fight. This isn't looking good for the solo lane so far. This King Arthur level 7, and he's only going to get bigger at this rate.
Santa Barbara recognizing that they have pressure on this side because it is this King Arthur into Cerberus, and of course having the Erlang. But talking about Erlang, gank coming out of the Roughneck.
From one lane to the next, this jungler's going to keep the aggression going. Little Roughneck is going to fall. Lyrics with the rotation behind finds Ninja, and this only leaves Mashi alone. Unfortunately for Santa Barbara, they don't have the mana to keep fighting, so they're going to decide to just get out, not even bother wasting your time on the support. So far, this is not looking good. 5 kills to 0. The gold lead only increasing to a little over 2,000. And this jungler finds himself a 2-level lead.
It's come through getting these early picks and kills, and Erlang provides that pressure versus the Nemesis, and they're just using it so well to get these invades, to force these decisions out from University of Alabama to either defend them and maybe give up kills or just give up the buffs, which then puts them even further ahead. And you like to see that from a team that's in the lead, is just force them to decide, hey, are you going to give us free farm, or are you potentially going to give us your life?
And speaking of potentially taking lives, a little bit of a scrap over those left side neutral Harpies, but unfortunately for University of Alabama, they're not able to find anything off of it. Both Harpies going the way of Santa Barbara's mid. CMO, this is one of the more interesting things. We see Pythag's piece coming out onto CMO on Morgan, whereas we see the Karen's coin. Tiamat, but a big engagement coming through as Mashi stepped up. A Fireball Ninja comes in. He manages to take down Thunderfant. Mashi gets taken down by Persephone. And unfortunately for Ninja, Lyrics is here. He wants to find the kill. He's going to use everything he can to close the distance, even taking a little bit of poke from the Phoenix. But Ninja will get out. Roughneck is here with Medic, and he will finish that one off. The solo laner has finally gone down for Santa Barbara.
And that's big for University of Alabama. You get the shutdown on the two pieces that have been so pivotal for Santa Barbara's aggression. You finally put down the Erlang, and you lose Mashi, but at the end of the day, you'll take that trade jungler for support just about any day of the week, as well as swapping out the solo laner who tried to get the last bit of damage on the Fireball Ninja and just could not find it. That's a really good punish, and what we need to see more of out of University of Alabama. Outside of that, Santa Barbara has been able to find whatever they want on the map and just kind of do whatever they would like. These rotations need to be a bit quicker, and that's a good start.
A moment ago, we did see Roughneck decide to get very aggressive towards Simo, but support being there means there's not much he's going to be able to do. Instead, 8 minutes in, we do see a little 3-man grouping starting over towards the mid, but it's all while looking for farm that's just not there. Over in duo lane, however, it looks like we may have a full rotation coming for a gank. Ninja and Mashi working together, but the call out is made, so Dankshako sits under the tier 1 tower. Even Simo and Persephone both gonna rotate in, trying to make sure that this will not happen. If it does, possible counter. Both teams going back to their normal lanes, farming past as well as take a little bit of a look at the poke wars between these two solos. And right now, I mean, Bastion, they're not really gonna be able to do much on their own.
No, but there could be an engage on the Mashi, and they're taking a whole lot of damage as Thunderfant is going to pick up that one onto the Sobek. Just got controlled so well with the knock up and the damage. Also looking for a gank potentially over to Galaxy Medic, who's taken up in the King Arthur ult. The damage is here. The gank coming through. Ultimate, use the Stygian Torment, and it won't be enough as Thunderfant picks up another.
Ninja blinks on in, uses the ultimate as well. Is going to trade out the jungler at last. That's all he's going to be able to find. So across the map, that's going to be a 2-for-1 off the rotation from mid to solo. And really, I mean, Thunderfant's been having an impactful game already. 5, 2, and 3. Being involved in all 8 kills for his team. As we see in solo, 5 Ninja yet again having to back away.
I do like this build also coming out, but hold on a minute. Mashi wants to keep some pressure on the CMO, use the Lurking in the waters, but not having the follow-up from Tiamat does force him out. And this Morgan has not been able to be punished as much as we would like to see so far, Vengeance. We talked about the weakness of her kit is that immobility, but it's not been too bad for them so far.
We're in the duel lane, a little bit of a poke battle starting. Valence taking the worst of the damage, but doesn't really matter. He's able to walk away because he's got a whole wave to leave over for Santa Barbara's own Bankshaw. But Oracles, Thunderfant will be the first one there to clean up, and he's even going to start this Greater Scorpion, try and get those enhanced buffs going early on. So this means we are going to see the Gold Fury spawning in the next 30 seconds. That's going to be quite the impactful objective early on.
Makes sense to go ahead and take that out for Santa Barbara. You do still have the lead and the advantage in pressure. Go ahead and get that objective up for yourselves. As soon as you find a pick, if you're able to, you can then look to rotate over to Gold Fury, and then suddenly you're increasing that lead by 1,000 or more. And at that point, that's feeling pretty good for you. We'll see how they're able to juggle this objective. But going back to this Erlang, we're seeing this build start to come on a little bit. The Stone Cutting Sword as well as the Ichabal. And this Ichabal item has been something we've seen so much of, but it's not just on these hunters. We've seen it picked up for these auto attack based junglers, and it makes a lot of sense, giving great boxability.
Now it does look like he may be going into that Berserker shield as well, but the difference we're going to see here between these two junglers is Ninja opting for the Kinsai instead of anything like that Ichabal.
And Kinsai's is going to allow this Nemesis to just burn down the tankier targets well. You typically are picking Nemesis to help you out with that because you get that ultimate, the Divine Judgment certainly helps out, and Kins just plays to that. So if you're looking to take down this King Arthur, well, it makes a whole lot of sense to pick that up, especially with this mystical male coming online and likely more health in what could either be a Pesty, if that's the way they want to look, or if they want to look towards that Talisman of Energy that's also got a lot of health on it. So I like what they're looking for here. We'll see how it works out.
Oh, University of Alabama trying to find pressure anywhere they can while keeping their farm going. Santa Barbara, they've been making do so far these first 12 minutes just by making simple rotations and successful ganks. But with this Gold Fury up, Valence, he's going to be paying attention to the jungle and see Dankshah rotating over. Find a little bit of poke damage, but with the rest of Santa Barbara showing up, he's not going to find the kill. This is going to be a 4v5 for now. 3-2 Medic is coming out of the fountain. The Gold Fury is nearly falling, but University of Alabama manages to strip it away just in time. Thunderfant finds one. Ninja trades out Persephone, and Dankshah, however, found a couple of their owns. This leaves Ninja all alone as Medic finally makes his way towards the fight. We're talking a 3-for-1 for the Gold Fury.
And this is an early Gold Fury, so you don't get quite as much value out of it, but we'll look at the replay here. Gold Fury is starting to get low, and Mashi works their way into it. That opens it up for Tiamat. that it looks like was able to steal it away there, the damage coming through, but the punish on the backside from Santa Barbara does allow them to pick up some value. We'll see if they're able to use it on this left side and potentially pick up this T1 if they can. That'll be nice to add to their coffers, but instead they're going to go over there and get the Pyromancer, which is a pretty normal trade-out when you think about the two.
Well, kills Pyromancer, things favoring a little bit heavier for Santa Barbara right now. The Gold Fury does mean the gold will stay reasonably close. However, it's still about 3k lead for Santa Barbara, and the tower going down as well in mid. Not going to make things easy. The pressure that can be applied across the map, and just look at these level differences. The dual lane, you got the 80s, you level and a half, 2 levels, 2 on the support, 1 in the mid, 1 in the jungle, and the solo lane is the only one that's about even.
And that's a little surprising with the way King Arthur was able to rotate early on. You would have think they had a bit more of a lead for themselves, but the rest kind of checks out with what we thought would happen. This Erlang's been able to find great pressure so far, so the difference makes sense there. And this dual lane has kind of had that pressure, despite what looked like a little bit of stalled out early on, but we could see a gank on Namashi.
Oh, Namashi was going to be the original target, but Ninja follows up behind, and he's found by 3 members. That's the easy pick coming the way for Thunderfant. Galaxy Medic may have been spotted out as well. So Lyrics, he's not going to go take the aggressive route. Gonna make it back to the wave first. Make sure he can apply pressure in this form instead. He has this jungler nearby who looks like he's gonna focus on invading this right side of the jungle instead, while his teammates in mid are gonna clean up the red buffs of Valence over here. He's looking low. Dangshaw doesn't have the ultimate. We used it already, but the crit coming out forces Dangshaw to sit back. Mashi following Persephone on the back end. However, they may be looking for a quick fight. With that healing coming through, there's not much that University of Alabama are going to be able to do unless Santa Barbara overstep and Roughneck takes a good bit of damage on someone. Thunderfant, he wants to counter this aggression. It looks like it's going to be a 4-man stacking coming out of Santa Barbara. The blink in, a little bit of damage attempt onto Valence, but he's not going to find it thanks to the Aegis. Mashi finds one. Valence was taken down. Thunderfant, however, takes Roughneck as well. And that's going to be a 2 for 1 on the left-hand side. They may be looking for a third, though, as Mashi is still here defending Medic. It's on the back end of the fight. The Stygian Torment coming through. Ninja finds Thunderfant. It's a 2 for 2 in this fight. And Santa Barbara, they've been forced out. The solo laners here, there's not much else they can do except just say, oh, we failed.
A bit of a story of overstaying for both of these teams. Great bait out by Dank to be able to keep around Valence and this Tiamat on the backside with Thunderfant rotating in. It worked out well for them to start off, but then they just stuck around this T1 too long. It allowed this Cerberus to rotate in and punish them for their mistake. A really nice Thunder and displacement onto CMO made them not able to feel too comfortable continuing to dish out the damage. And when you don't have this big damage coming out of the Morgan, it's a little more difficult to win these team fights. So it's up to these teams to kind of recognize when you get that value, just notice that maybe you can't continue this push. Go find something else on the map. There's still farm up in this jungle that you can look for, or you can even try to go ahead and get some warding. We're hitting that 16-minute mark. Fire Giant's not off the tip.
14-6 terms of kills. Still only 1 tower down for University of Alabama. Santa Barbara still having all 6 up. But that 3k gold lead has shrunk ever so slightly. Alabama is able to find little bits and pieces here and there to start coming back. Oracle's attempt, they're going to be split in the end, so no one's going to have that vision advantage in terms of Oracles. However, there is a ward sitting down for Santa Barbara. This is going to be the Primal Fury that's spawning up here soon. So we're not going to see those Oni minions come into play quite yet. However, it is one that if we get long enough in the game, Enhanced Fire Giant will be easier for that team.
You do get the extra damage onto the Fire Giant. That 7% can play in really well coming out of the Primal Fury, but looks like they're going to be engaged. Ultimate used by Ninja.
Up in the sky goes Dangshaw to counter this aggression. He finds a couple hits, and Thunderfant will clean him up. 3 members of University of Alabama caught in an awkward situation is on the back end. Roughneck is being handled by Larix pretty aggressively, but he's finding himself getting shredded down as well. A huge Stygian Torment comes through, but it's not able to keep them all in check. Managed to use a couple of relics, get themselves out, and re-engage Dangshaw, fighting Valence as he was trying to ult out Simo, finds Roughneck, and the chase onto Medics. He gets the root, he gets the autos. It's more than good. And that fight, 4 for none. Santa Barbara, the later this game goes, looks like their team fights are only getting better.
They are, and Mashy might find themselves the next victim as they're trying to control them down. CMO putting the damage on, and they need just a little bit more as Thunderfang's going to pick it up. The Deicide comes through, the 11th kill for this Erlang, who has looked so good so far, and we'll see if they work their way over to the Fire Giant. The Fireball Ninja is keeping an eye on these rotations. Both the Primal Fury is still up if they want to go that way instead, so we'll see which way they want to favor as far as objectives.
Now, Bastion, was it worth for Santa Barbara to turn back around just to take down Mashy? Because the objectives are up. There were 4 members down for at least 10 more seconds. Would it have been more beneficial to maybe focus there?
And when we're looking at the game, of course, you know, objectives do win games. And so I've got to say that it makes more sense to work your way over to the Fire Giant or Primal Fury, whichever way you're wanting to look, and take that objective down, because realistically, Sobek could try to look to steal with that lurking in the waters, but that's about the best chance that they have. So there's not a whole lot of threat, and then you have even more pressure that you can use on the map to take down these towers. Suddenly you have a massive gold lead instead of, well, I mean, you still have a 5,000k lead, but even more, upwards of like a 6, 7k. If you get that and start to take down towers, it's not quite as worth it to get that kill.
Oh, Valence having to use his ultimate again just to get out. Thunderfan, though, he's going to take this tower down because it was one shot anyway. Aegis comes out. It doesn't matter. The root keeps him in place, so he will fall to Thunderfan. And there's a fight going on at the red buff as well. Larix doing his damage, finds Fireball. Ninja, Mashy dashing away, trying to find any escape. The stun, however, comes through, and it hits Roughneck. Galaxy Medic on the back end, hits the Stygian Torment. 2 come up, 2 go down. The damage is too much. Thunderfan has found a second kill so far. Galaxy Medic falling in Santa Barbara. This pressure, they're going to rotate through the right side. This may be that Fire Giant call.
Should be, and they have that Umoja to keep them topped up, though Tiamat will be following them through the jungle a little bit, trying to get some eyes, and we saw they were able to steal before around this Gold Fury, so it's certainly not out of the question.
Fire Giant finally goes down. Roughneck comes on the back end a little too late. He's trying to find Dangshaw if possible, but he is juking and even manages to be the one to get the last hit for that kill. So all 5 members will still continue to have this, and the 9k gold lead is nearly there. It's a little bit under, but they're creeping up on it. Is Santa Barbara right side? Jungle and Soul are going to work together. Most likely get this tier 1 tower down. That's only going to leave tier 2s.
It will, and there's still a decent amount of gold on the map, so you talked about that 9k. We'll certainly get there at some point, unless Alabama's able to get a really nice defense around these T2s. They have some pieces that they can certainly utilize if you get a nice Sobek displacement, or if you're able to get a big Stygian Torment on some people that don't have those bees available for themselves, but Valence could be caught out.
He's gonna do everything he can to get away. Yet again, the ultimate being expended. The blink from Ninja getting away from the damage of Simo. This Primal Fury is going to be started by Thunderfan. Already down halfway as well. His team showing up. It's gonna finish off there. They have found themselves breaking into that 9k lead area at last. This red buff, it's up yet again. And Larix making his way. He's gonna see it. He wants to take this one down. The grouping is going to come on this left side for Santa Barbara. It looks like this tier 2 is the aggressive side they want to take.
Makes sense to go down this left side because it is the furthest away from the Fire Giant, and you want to have that just to have those minions pushing. Wouldn't be surprised if we did see a little bit of a split off from Thunderfant to try to pick up another tower, though right now it looks like they want to bully them out in the middle, not letting them up, and they're going to go for this Phoenix instead of another tower.
Of the 5-man grouping is here. The minions are in, but Santa Barbara not finding that entrance just yet. However, Thunderpant flinks in a good 3-man top, forcing a dash out of 1. Dankshot will take Galaxy Medics down. Lyrics, he's on the back end. He takes one up, puts him down. Simo will find Roughneck on his own side of the fight. This Phoenix is getting burned, but not as quickly as everyone probably liked. Thunderpant will take Mashi down. 2 rooted. 1 more falls. Make that a triple kill for the jungler of Santa Barbara. And that will secure the DSI and game number 1 for Santa Barbara against University of Alabama. University of Alabama. That Ymir is gone.
Well, we talked about kind of what Ymir does so well early on, so not surprised to see it take away. The Gilgamesh also going to follow suit, not wanting to let that big Winds of Shamash come in and influence anything. We haven't seen any targeted bans just yet, though, so we'll see if they look that way. I mean, we talked about it. You either have to take it or take away that Erlang, because if they run it back and do the same thing, I mean, you're not getting likely any better result.
No, it's something that definitely going to have to keep in mind. The Fafnir is going to be taken away here as well. These supports early on seem to be something that these teams do enjoy getting rid of. But Santa Barbara, the Tiamat, seems they didn't like that one for a little bit. Going to take that out of the hands of University of Alabama this time around.
Yeah, the Tiamat did have some nice moments, and of course got that big Gold Fury steal set up by Mashi being able to walk in. So Tiamat always one that if you take it away, you feel pretty good about it. Fafnir is an interesting band, though. I know how good Fafnir has been, but we just haven't really seen it at this first band phase, unless you just know that UC Santa Barbara has played it a lot. That might be what's coming through, but Soul we have seen a lot of, and that makes sense to take away.
And here, University of Alabama, and that's going to round out their ban phase here. So Santa Barbara, they're going to be thinking, oh, it looks like Santa Barbara is actually on border side of chaos is at University of Alabama. So it's a little bit of flipsy-turny here. But so Alabama, they're going to be getting their last ban in, and they really want to think this one because there are still some pretty strong picks up.
There are, talked about it, Artemis, still very available for you. The Morgan, still very available for you. And CMO piloted the Morgan pretty well, so UC Santa Barbara are going to return that pick. And honestly, if they can run it back in a similar fashion as they did before, it looks pretty good. But Alabama are going to make the pivot to take away this Umoja. You said they were a sleeper on this pick, and I think they agree with you.
Yeah, Umoja still has ways, just like Ymir, be able to impact the jungle. May not have the ability to choose exactly where you want to put that wall, but still has the range, the length, to be able to impact any fight, especially if you catch someone just trying to W key your team down. Morgan Le Fay's mentioned just yet again, this seems to be a very comfort pick for Santa Barbara's mid. Simo, he showed off what he could do last time. He did end up with a lot of assists, not as many kills. Can't really blame him though when you've got an Erlang Shen jungle on your team who's just solo mid, solo mid, solo mid.
Yeah, at that point, you're just kind of playing the facilitator, which is completely fine. I mean, a bit of a role reversal, right? We typically think of the mages as being those last hit kings and the junglers just kind of giving them all the kills, but it works out for them all the same. CMO, though, has been known to play some interesting picks, so not surprised to see them really wanting to work on piloting this Morgan. I've seen Kronos come out of CMO before, especially with the Bumbus Hammer that I talked about a little bit yesterday, so they're not afraid to take some spicy picks, but Athena going to be locked in. And you've got to think with the Umoja, this is either going to jungle or solo.
Yeah, and with University of Alabama, they seem to favor this 2 Guardian setup instead of going for one of the traditional warriors. But Santa Barbara, they're like, you may like that, we like our warriors because Terra and Odin both coming out.
Right, Terra going to give you that big ultimate for the extra burst damage and of course the healing from it. And Odin has been something that's risen to the top a little bit with some changes coming through to the cooldowns. And you're going to be able to affect the fight with the Athena getting locked in, the Umoja getting locked in. Raijin does have the jump to get out, but if you can play that dash, you can also pick them up. We could see a Phantom having to be the pickup for University of Alabama.
And with both these picks being over, we're going to get back into the bans. We see Set, Osiris are going to be the 2 out of Alabama. Tsukiyomi from Santa Barbara. Now, the question is, are they going to ban away Cali again, or are they going to look for something a little different? Ashton, I'd almost imagine they might want to test the waters and see if they can get it.
Could look that way. It would work with the draft pretty well. I think the biggest question though is just kind of what hunter they're going to look for, and the on her band out means you can't have that. Now the Rama could get returned, and we'll see if the Rama does get returned. But Camazot's going to be the next pickup here for University of Alabama. We saw it a little bit yesterday. It's got early pressure on. If that's what they're looking for, it can certainly do that.
Well, we'll have to see if the Camazots will have that impact early because, again, just like Athena, he's one of these flex picks, solo, jungle. We're going to have to see where they're going to prefer to send him. But Santa Barbara, yet again, they're hovering this ROM, something that it seems Dangshaw may favor as his go-to a little bit more often than not. But we're still going to be waiting on that other pick. What is Santa Barbara looking to do? And they're hovering that Robin. It seems that they may have heard you mention him and be like, oh yeah, we like him too.
Yeah, Ravana is just going to play that similar role to Erlang, that early game facilitator, and it plays so well into this Raijin because you do have the kick flip, of course, and you have that Mystic Rush. You get a Raijin ult, you Mystic Rush on top of them, and suddenly they're not feeling too good about being a stationary pick. The Rama can also do the same, following up with those arrows, raining down a lot of damage. I like the last two lock-ins here for Santa Barbara.
Robin paired with Odin. I'm not too sure if I'd want to be trapped in a cage with those two at this point. But Alabama, they're going to have to look for something to counter this. And all they've got left is their ADC pick. Not too much to choose from at this point that could really have that huge impact. But the Chernobog hover, he does have the global ultimate, and he is going to be locked in. Number 2, University of Alabama, as said before, they are looking to tie things up because this is do or die. If they lose here, it's all over. Their run comes crashing down, and that would leave Santa Barbara in the finals. However, there's no guarantee that's happening after all, and it does look like we're going to see Galaxy Medic take this Athena over to the solo lane. The Fighter's Mask coming out on her, and the Fighter's Mask coming out on this Odin as well.
Fighter's Mask gives you the 70 magical power for this Guardian, and of course gives you the 40 physical for this Odin. Makes a lot of sense to see that come out, and it's just a good item in general. If not, you're typically looking, and we could still see the Vamp Shroud picked up later, which can work pretty well on this Athena to help out with the matchup. Though I'm expecting both of these picks to be more for their rotations than just the intrinsic 1v1 that we'll see in lane.
Definitely something that, especially at level 5, Santa Barbara's gonna have to be on their toes. Awareness at an all-time high. These dual lanes we see just a little bit behind is Alabama, but not by too much. The wave clear coming out, not going to be too much of a difference. Mid lane, either mid choosing to do too much poke as of yet. Simo just finding that sword crash onto the wave, but the relics usage here we see already a little bit of a sunder onto Dangshaw. Takes that poke. Isn't going to be aggressed on too much though. But over on the right hand neutrals, they're going to be aggressively playing towards Fireball Ninja. But there's not going to commit too hard, recognizing the mid rotating over. And back in duo, Dangshaw, he's falling low. So Persephone, he's going to take a couple of shots himself, trying to keep his ADC alive the best he can. And he's going to be successful in doing so. Blends and Ashy both going to rotate towards this mini Harpy on the side of Barbara and actually take that away from them. So a little nice extra farm to find a slight lead.
And having control of neutral farm is very important. It gets you those extra couple levels and gold that can benefit you in the long run. And Oracle is being looked at here by Ravana. Makes a lot of sense. We don't see a huge gold difference coming out, but you see Santa Barbara doing a nice job of getting control early on, and it has given them a 500 gold lead.
We see over in the solo lane that bird bomb, the clear and damage being a little too much right now for Medic to handle on this Athena. But over in duo, nice little stun coming out from Persephone with those walls. A nice counter stun as well from the Yemoja. Again, neither team choosing to go aggressive with these waves here, just abiding their time, trying to find that little opening. No matter how much damage has been done so far, is Persephone the one for Santa Barbara's duo lane who's falling low this time around?
It is Persephone, and the healing a little bit better out of Yemoja. You do have the healing, of course, on the monolith from the Terra, and so they'll certainly look to utilize that a little bit. Does pick up the shell as well, but we're seeing a bit of an invade coming out here as Lyric trying to pick up the blue buff. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get it, but Galaxy Medic taunts him in. The damage coming out from Fireball Ninja. Now Thunderfant rotating in, does get the first blood going on to Lyric's as they pick up Galaxy Medic.
The timing from Thunderfant, oh so perfect to keep his solo laner alive and help him get the first blood onto the enemy solo laner. These junglers already showing their impact. Fireball Ninja so far, he's the one who's holding the lead after that little bit of a protected invade, trying to keep everything they can away from Larix, because he went into a 1v2. The fact that he didn't fall, I'd say he was just big for Fant's timing.
It is, and being able to use that shield that Odin has can protect you from a lot of that damage. You don't have to jump immediately, and of course, it's just that ability to play around that. Athena, not the god that's going to be able to slow you out all the best, though picking up this Warrior's Axe will help them a little bit in the laning, just because you get that additional sustain of mana and health on procs every time you do damage, plus you get a little bit of extra tankiness from those protections.
All the protections always help a little bit better when you're wanting to be one of the tanks of this team. But Fireball Ninja lurking towards duo lane, being called away, recognizing that there's not much of an opportunity for a gank as of yet on the left side of this map. And mid, seems that Roughneck, he's been able to sit in lane just a little bit longer, as we do see Sibo go back for this Pythagorean's piece yet again. Already got this online, so the fighting for now may favor him in the 1v1 until we see Roughneck finish his first item, which I'm expecting to be that Karen's coin again.
Should be. Wouldn't be too surprising to see that, of course. And this Pythagorean's piece, you brought it up. I like this pick up for CMO because you have healing on other parts of your team, mainly the Terra going to be the one that benefits, and that just benefits in general by having the increased healing that Pythagorean's piece does. So I like to see that because you're wanting to go into lifesteal anyways, might as well help out the homies and just benefit the rest of the team while you're doing it.
Oracle's coming up, and we already see Santa Barbara's mid and jungle on top of that, securing them, as well as Fireball Ninja shows up immediately as they're done. He's not going to be able to find any steal away or damage onto these two. But the way they're playing, he's, matter of fact, has to back off, go for his speed buff, and these two teams, these speed buff timers are nowhere near the same.
No, and that allows you to prevent some of the invades that can come up, because if you're not able to get that timer straight up, you can't sync it up with what your speed buff is and guess as easily as to when theirs is going to be up. So nice little bit of pivot there. And this game's taking a little bit of a slower pace outside of that first blood coming down. This has benefited UC Santa Barbara, though, as they've been able to climb up to almost a 2,000 gold lead, even without another kill going their way.
And this time around, we're only about 6 minutes in. None of these towers being hit as hard, except for on the solo side for University of Alabama. That tower sitting nearly at half health already, just from minions being able to pour in at different times. But this is one of the risks you take playing that Guardian solo. It's not going to have that same early damage and clear. So it's unsurprising to see that Larix is able to get this tower so low. Over in dual lane with the Draugr spawning, Inkshot and Valence. Another little thing they can fight over, and they're trying to time these autos, but it's gonna go the way of Dangshaw and the Lesser Scorpion. A nice little cheeky timing mishap. Just to force Valence to say, I can try, but it's not too much success.
No, and this Rama has looked a little bit better in the 1v1s, but Fireball Ninja rotating over maybe to put some pressure on instead, going to get this XP camp, rotate back towards the mid lane. We do see the red buff being pulled here, and this Gold Scorpion still up, though certainly could look at it a little bit if Santa Barbara wanted to soon. It looks like they have the pressure on this left side. Wouldn't be surprised to see them push it.
And it does look like Persephone may be rotating that way with Thunderfant. And Balance, he's gone up into the air. He wants to get aggressive on Dangshaw, but as he lands, Shaw goes up into his own ultimate. Unfortunately, though, for Santa Barbara, they're unable to get there in time to catch him coming down. So he's going to dash away, find himself in safety. But Thunderfant has found Ninja. And this time, though, because the emoji's on Alabama, he's the one who's going to get the healing out of her. The Rivers Rebuke comes up trying to catch Simo, but it's not going to do much as he pops the ultimate of his own, finding a kill onto Fireball Ninja. In fact, he's trying to get out. The shell is good to help keep him alive, and the damage is going to continue coming through Dangshaw. He wants to find something to teleport over. Will prevent that. Disengage from both teams will come out.
This level 9 Morgan is difficult for them to take down. Thought that CMO could be in more trouble with that ultimate coming out. The Rivers Rebuke kind of cut them off and slowed them down, though. It didn't get the full blockage, allowing CMO to slide out. They had the advantage of really being able to isolate him some and put some damage on. It didn't work out as CMO was able to turn around the kill instead, and that's the advantage of having lifesteal. But we see Larix has got this lane completely locked up as far as towers go, taking down the T1 already in 8 minutes. That does not feel good.
No, and that tier 1 going down has given Santa Barbara about a 3k gold lead as well. So this gold lead at one point was slowly stacking, is starting to ramp up even further. Alabama, they're going to need to figure something out to stop this soon, because this is without any of the objectives really coming up. We do have the Greater Scorpion down on the right side in favor of Barbara, so the Pyromancer Fire Giant will be coming up soon. That's going to be it. The Gold Fury, it's not going to be on the board for a hot minute.
No, Fire Giant not likely going to be pulled anytime soon, but we could see the Pyromancer going down. Surprising not to see the Scorpion being taken down on the left side, because it just would make sense to try to continue this pressure. But Thunderfant rotating over could look at Valence. There's a rotation coming in, though, and they haven't recognized it just yet. The damage being put on, but the turnaround and the Mystic Rush a little bit better. The knockback, though, coming in big from Mashy and almost gets the kill.
A little unfortunate timing there for Alabama. Valence takes quite a bit of poke, so he's not able to just aggressively push. In fact, he's able to find his way out with his ultimate, stays safe just long enough. And we do see Dangshaw has made his way back in lane in time. There's going to be no further aggression here. However, Santa Barbara, with that aggression disengagement, will find the opportunity to take down this Greater Scorpion. The Gold Fury going to be spawning in 30 seconds, as Pyromancer itself coming up in the next few.
Wouldn't be surprised to see University of Alabama have warding around this right side and look for that trade out that we've seen so often between the Gold Fury and Pyromancer. Early on, Gold Fury is not worth quite as much as it is as the levels progress and time progresses in the game, so it's not so much of a bad trade when you think about it, and you really want to get that value. UC Santa Barbara, though, should be looking towards this Gold Fury within the next 2 or 3 minutes, just because they can continue this aggression, and you have the Terra ultimate if they do decide to come in and want to take up that fight. You also have the ability to snipe with that Rama if you want to go from a distance and make sure you secure it. So we'll see which way they look. Instead, a little bit of grouping around this mid lane.
Simo looks like gets the neutrals just over the edge, at least one of them going his way. And the University of Alabama, the support jungle and mid, going to regroup, try and find what they can. Those left neutrals, unfortunately, already down, so they're only going to be able to place a ward just in case for rotations and sit and wait on the red buff. Same thing Santa Barbara's going to do themselves, but Valence maybe looking for a sneak opportunity. He's going to not go ahead and do that. He's going to back off, but Thunderfant spotting him out has decided to go full on aggressive. In comes Persephone and Simo. They want to support their junglers, see if they can find anything, but with the ultimate coming out of Medic, there's not going to be any further aggression. All 5 members of Alabama are here. Larix is rotating now through mid, going to try and find this opening. Gold Fury is being pulled by Santa Barbara. They want to see what they can do here. And with Alabama lurking around Larix, he's going to go leaping on in. Pop the ultimate as well as Rivers Rebuke comes up. They're going to be a little bit zoned out. Dangshaw goes up in the ult trying to find damage. The zoning comes in, but Larix picks up Medic with the helpless pop. And Fireball Ninja, though, takes down Persephone. Mashy in a little bit of trouble. Dangshaw takes him out. Going on to Roughneck as the next target. Dangshaw, however, has got Ninja on top of him. He takes him down at last. He's dancing around. He's got the help of his ADC, but Thunderfant takes him. Larix gets Ninja, and it's a 4 for 2 so far. They got a 4 for 3. Valence finding the autos. Taking Larix down. He's trying to dash in and out of the wall, find some spacing. Unable to do so as Simo will find him with the drop down of the sword.
Forcing that early Athena ultimate helps them out so much because you can't get a lot of value. And then University of Alabama, having that rotation, it just does not engage on the backside of it. Waits out for Larix to rotate. And we see the Odin Cage gets dropped down. The ultimate's being used as well early on. And then the re-engage, so vital here with the Mystic Rush over the top. Drops down the Athena, carries the chase onward to Mashy, and they're able to take them out as well. And that just leaves Roughneck and Valence, who does have the ult in on the backside to try to make it happen.
We do see in this replay, Roughneck just continued to be chased down. Unfortunately for him, couldn't find any safety in time. And Valence, these autos, just something that Larix could not handle this early on. The protection's just not there. Nice little play from the mid jungle to finish him off in time. Unfortunately, they were not able to pull the gold for lost too many of their own teammates. And as we see coming back into the game, 37,000 gold for Santa Barbara, just under 34 for Alabama, including missing one of their tier 1s. So this gold fury, it's becoming more and more important. We're almost 14 minutes in. And the first team that gets this done, Bastion, may change the course of the next fight.
Certainly could. The key part, though, is that neither team was able to pick it up. So University of Alabama do still achieve what they were looking for, which is to get Santa Barbara off of this Gold Fury or the potential to pull it. Now, the downside is that you don't really win the fight on the backside. You end up losing 2 more members, so that doesn't feel good. But if you can stall out this momentum a little bit, you can look to try to get a better pick with this Athena ultimate. The problem is, when you use it, you've got to try to engage and not let the Odin rotate.
Well, Simo showing off the damage that a Morgan really can do. Is just a couple of abilities nearly taking down the Fireball Ninjas. University of Alabama were sitting around that Gold Fury, and in comes Santa Barbara, spotting that out, recognizing that it could be going on. Larix, he's gone on zoning duty, but there's 2 behind him, one being Galaxy Medic, the other being Roughneck. They're coming in. The Taiko drums are going to be burned, and Alabama, they will steal it away with the Taiko drums. He's going to try teleporting out, but Thunderfan will use the Mystic Rush to continue chasing and take him down. A nice little 3-man stun coming in from Mash. He's trying to do everything he can to get his team out. Even a Sunder being used onto Simo, and it's going to be successful on the disengage this time around, except for Fireball Ninja. He's caught a little too slow, so Thunderfant will make this a 2 for none, and the Gold Fury going the way of University of Alabama.
Able to get it with the Taiko drums, and we talked about not having that big secure for the Morgan. That's really the big problem with trying to pull these objectives, is you don't have the best secure. Raijin is going to out-secure you if they're able to time it right with that Taiko drums. And outside of that, you just don't have any other character that's the best at securing things. You can try to steal it away with a Rama ultimate, but it requires really precise timing if you want to try to do that, and that's not what you typically want to count on when you're looking at these objectives. It works out well, but Valence ulting onto Thunderfant.
Not only ulting on him, able to steal away the purple buff as well. A nice little invade, but Simo is coming in aggressively, trying to find him. And Thunderfant, he's still chasing on the back end. He's going to find a little bit of a hand slap. The root will not be good as he dashes into the wall. The ultimate from Simo, the damage. He will find the final hit as well. Valence will fall and be punished for his aggression into the enemy jungle. It looks like Dangshaw, he wants to try and find a sneak onto this Pyromancer, but there's a ward here and a rotation coming out from Alabama as well. They're going to start ahead this objective up right into it. But Larix does a nice little bird bomb. Even the taunt, it's not enough for Alabama to find any aggression onto him. They're backing off, resetting. With Persephone here, it's not going to be that easy to simply fight. Larix sleeping in. He has found the ultimate, forcing the bats out of hell. Dangshaw uses the ult of his own. Finds a couple hits onto Roughneck. In comes the Mystic Rush. They really want to take him down. Galaxy Medic will be the target, however, thanks to the Rivers Rebuke. Simo getting the kill, credit on that one. Larix regrouping near this tier 2 tower instead. Gonna back off, reset for this Pyromancer. Alabama, not sure they want to recontest.
No, Pyromancer is not the biggest target on the map, so you're fine giving it up, and you likely will have to for University of Alabama, but they want to stick around and make sure that Fire Giant's not the next thing on the map. But Thunderfant is going to try to continue this aggression if they can find it.
Oh, going right back into that aggression. Oh, Fireball Ninja just getting caught by the team of Santa Barbara. Is taken down. And up into the sky goes Valence. He comes right back down, though, under his tier 2. The Odin cage is there, however, so he's going to be trapped for a good minute. Tankshaw will take him down to get a double kill. He's trying to find more. Can he get a third? It's going to go to Lyrics on this one. Galaxy Medic falling as well. 3 for none. The tier 2's now the target call. There's not a whole lot University of Alabama can do just with their support mid to stop this one.
No, they are going to try to take down this T2, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to do it with Roughneck showing up and Mashy at full HP. The fallback will happen, and Fire Giant also not going to be looked at. The HP bars just not quite there, so you get the kills, but we still see this big objective standing. The tower on the right side also still standing, so not entirely all bad for University of Alabama being able to defend those two.
Not gonna lie, Passion, it's a little surprising to see that so many members from Santa Barbara just left instead of helping with that tier 2, especially with minion waves coming at some point. I feel like that should have been a pretty free tower.
Yeah, it looked like there was maybe a little bit of miscommunication about if they wanted to back and try to look at the Fire Giant or take down the T2, and just didn't expect for this Raijin and Mashy to be able to get there so quickly, or how long it would take to burn down the T2. Miscalculation, however, works out for University of Alabama, but we see Santa Barbara are going to group up around this Fire Giant now, and some poke coming on to Galaxy Medic as Thunderfant, showing that they can still do quite a lot of damage on this Ravana even as it gets to late game.
Well, I don't blame them setting up around this constantly over and over. They do have about a 7k gold lead, and their level lead is incredible, but there's a fight going on. Simo is going to find Mashy as he gets the River's Rebuke up. It's going to hit a few members, but it's not going to save any lives as Thunderfant has found Galaxy Medic. We did see Ninja on the back end. Not going to be able to grow aggressive, so he's going to try and get some minion waves into this tier 1 and mid. And in the meantime, we do see on this left-hand side that Valence has decided to split push. He gets the tier 1 and tier 2 of the dual lane. Thunderfant backing is not going to allow the Phoenix to fall. The tier 1 and mid goes down. And at last, the Fire Giant stealth will go down. But it came at the cost of 3 towers.
Heads up play there to go ahead and take down the towers, because you have the Chernobog ultimate. Even if you do get a good defense, you can just ult over to your team and then help them out. So I like what they were able to do there, and realistically, you don't have the best shot at taking down this Fire Giant. It's not enhanced, so you don't feel as bad about giving it up because it's just the regular version. There is a grouping, however, for UC Santa Barbara, and this T2 should go down really easy for them this time. We'll see if they look to push on, but instead going to rotate back towards this mid. They have 3 towers still standing, and once they get that off, that'll help bounce back up this gold lead a little bit more.
Well, team of the Fire Giant on it. Looks like a little bit split between mid and left. Thunderfant's going to be all alone at the tier 2. The tier 1 and mid is going to be aggressed on. So University of Alabama, they're not concerned about defending a tier 1, so they're going to choose to go after Thunderfant. The blink from Fireball Ninja, the bats out of hell with the Olympus come crashing in. Valence using his own ultimate to get their finish off the kill. That's 1 member down of Santa Barbara, but they get a tier 2. And they get a free entry into Phoenix as well. The Odin cage comes out from Lyrics. He's trying to find a weekend, but the Taiko drums. A good counter aggression move here. Members of Santa Barbara, they're trying to do what they can, but Ninja takes down Tankshaw. They teleport in, rooting all 3 members temporarily. The stun onto 2. Lyrics and Persephone in trouble, but Lyrics, the leap over the wall keeps him alive. Persephone is going to be the one who gets punished instead. And as you said, that River's Rebuke keeping him locked in for a good amount. Simo and Lyrics, they both will be able to find their way out, regroup underneath their mid Phoenix as well. But it may not be enough to stop this push. They have 8 seconds on Thunderfant before he gets back. And Santa Barbara may have just made a mistake not keeping their grouping in the right spots.
Pretty costly for them as they can't get this middle Phoenix enough damage and lose Thunderfant for the turnaround as CMO's able to pick up Fireball Ninja. They are going to chase down. The Aegis is used but still falls as the chase going to come out onto Roughneck. Lyric wants to pick this one up, but Thunderfant gets Galaxy Medic, and this Raijin's doing their best to dodge, but Thunderfant's going to put that one down for the double kill for Valence. The next one on the menu, but instead they're going to turn it around as they pick it up. Lyric goes with the jump, but cannot secure that for themselves. Rama, though, will put it down as they finally pick up the turnabout.
What a fight. What turned out as punishment against Santa Barbara for the way they split up with Fire Giant turns into University of Alabama being punished themselves by Simo and Lyrics, stalling long enough for their jungler to come up, get a double kill of his own. Yes, Valence answered back with a double kill, but unfortunately, Alabama, they're only got one standing at the end of the fight. There's three, and the mid Phoenix is gone.
Big pickup of the mid Phoenix, and really nice job of Santa Barbara to counteract kind of the mistakes that they made of the grouping. They delay that out long enough for Thunderfant to come in, pick up some kills on the backside, and this Odin has been able to tank up so much damage. Larix has lived entirely too long in these engagements, and that has been able to drop this cage on members and just delay them from being able to disengage. That's exactly what you want to see from this Odin when you're picking it, and that's really why you are picking it, for these big team fight ultimates.
Well, as Alabama decides to come out and deal with minions where they can, Santa Barbara decides to go ahead and take out that Fury, allow themselves a little bit of extra objective shred. In the meantime, Pyromancer's up. Not the most important thing, I'm guessing, for Santa Barbara, but if they can take and get a little bit more gold in their pockets, I believe they definitely will. They're already finding themselves a little over 7k up in gold. There's only one tier 2 standing for Alabama, 2 Phoenixes left, and we're 24 minutes in. Passion, things are not looking good.
No, they have showed that they still have life in them, and on that counteract, they were able to take out a tower or two for themselves, get some kills, so it's not completely curtains by any means for University of Alabama, but things are looking a little rough. Likely going to see this Pyromancer fall, and then just a setup for Fire Giant for UC Santa Barbara, as Fire Giant did fall off of all the members, those that still had it left, but they've got the advanced positioning. They can get this warding down and should be set up pretty well to take it.
Just taking a look at the levels across the board, both ADCs level 20, supports 15 to 16. Mid, one of the bigger difference, 3-level lead coming in for Simo, 20 to 17, 20 16 for the supports, or the solo laners, I'm sorry, and then 20 across for the junglers. So these fights, the mid and solo laner, Alabama, they've got to be careful, but Simo, he's the one leading the charge this time around, goes on to Valence and takes him down with the ultimate. The Odin Cage coming through is not enough to lock anyone down, but Dinkshaw will find Medic, and this leaves 3 members standing for Alabama. They all have to get out, because if they lose any more, it could mean end of game number 2 and their run. The Fire Giant will be the call from Santa Barbara. This is going to be absolutely free. University of Alabama, 30 seconds till their teammates are back up.
Vengeance, I think it's pretty safe to say that Morgan does a whole lot of damage, because Valence got eviscerated in that 1v1, and Valence has been this character that whenever they've had success, it's been off the backside of them being able to pick up some nice kills, so it's tough to see them fall early on. The Fire Giant goes down onto all 5 members. This is looking like a really good right side Phoenix push.
Well, it is a 5v3 for now, as members are just now spawning, but Fireball Ninja taking so much poke, has to use the bats out of health just to make it back to Fountain. Phoenix already below half health and is gonna go down as well, as Valence and Medic both spawn. This is not going to be easy defense. There's only one tier 2 and 1 Phoenix left standing in the way of Santa Barbara, and they're backing to spend whatever gold they have. At roughly 11k gold lead now as well. And Passion, Alabama, they need to pull off one incredible Phoenix defense here.
They do, and we saw a nice Rivers Rebuke there to slow things down, but it's just not enough when you don't have the same numbers and are able to step up to follow off when that ultimate falls down. Heads up play, it just hasn't worked out well for them, and we have to see it on this left side. The mid Phoenix is going to come up, but of course, when it respawns, it will be low HP, and even when it's full HP, if a Phoenix dies, of course, it never comes back to that full 100% HP, so this gives them another avenue to take an easy one down, especially if they can get this left side. But they're going to turn their eyes to this T2 for the moment, and this comp is looking like it's hitting its stride, as UC Santa Barbara have been hard to deal with.
Lens, the only one under Phoenix right now. The other 4 members had some back, and they did not choose a good timing to do it. This Phoenix, by the time they're here, is going to go down. This leaves the mid as the last one standing, and it will most likely be a 5v5, but the problem is Larix has been able to create in some incredible space so far, and if he can do it again here, this Phoenix will instantly fall. But for now, we're going to watch them dance around. They do have fire minions coming up both side lanes, so they'll be waiting to see what they can get going under that. A couple Titans made in, minions made it to the Titan. And not too much for Alabama to worry about as of yet. The dance, Larix, the blink, the ultimate, the trap. In comes the Mystic Rush. Simo will start us off with the Kawanamashi. Thunderfant finds Medic. The Bats out of Hell used, trying to find anything he can, but it's to no avail. The middle Phoenix goes down. Dank Shaw finds Valence, and that is 3 for none. The last 2 members standing, Ninja and Roughneck, have to use everything they can, but this Titan is burned in seconds. And game number 2, the semifinals match goes to UC Santa Barbara.